Hi, this is Judy with the PQP Stitch Club, and I'd like you to meet Susan Davis of Aunt Susie's house in Ogden, Utah. Hi, Susan. Want
Hi,
to tell
Judy.
Hi, want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your work?
Well, I have been a needlework designer for 20 years. I worked at a craft store for a little while and was doing all their models for them. And the owner says, why don't you just start doing your own? So I did. I designed things for the store and they displayed them and they took them to market and all this stuff and got me started. I started with embroidery because I just love to embroidery and I love samplers. So I did that for a long time. And then um, I got into I got into punch needle again and liked to punch needle on my quilts because it was something no one else had ever done. And
Hmm.
so I have a YouTube video that shows you how you can punch on fabric and add that little quirk to it. It's just really fun. So I started wool applique, which this is today. I took a class in Brigham City, Utah from Lisa Bonjean, had come from, I think, Wisconsin,
Mhm.
and she taught me how to do wool applique, and I was just charmed by the whole thing. The whole process just fascinated me. So a lot of my punch needle designs, I turned it into wool designs. And so my customers had the choice of either the wool or the punch needle, which was really fun. Now this design, this hang the stockings right here,
Mhm.
was I saw it first as a cross stitch. And I thought that would look so good, just stitched. So I just stitched it. And then this year I turned it into this wool applique design. And I worked at that same craft store. I became friends with the framer, and she designed this frame especially for me. And so I have a few on my website that you can order, but they're plain. You'd have to paint them and stuff. But it really finishes the design, the frame it's in.
It does. It looks like a fireplace.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to look like. So at the time I went to my first quilt market. I have been using just another button company's buttons. I just fell in love with them. And so they have a lot of their buttons on here. And then I'm a detail person, so I had to have charms. So I have these little charms that's available on my website too. There's a harmonica and a drum and an airplane that go at the top of the stockings.
Mhm.
So I want to tell you how I do it. I do fusible. I do not do wool applique because I'm lazy. I want it fused down so it does not move no matter where I take it. So I've been in the last 4 years, I've been in a bunch of stitch alongs on Facebook. And I started cutting out the designs with a fusible on it. So when they bought the pattern, all they had to do is take out the little motifs and iron it onto their piece, and then they could go anywhere they wanted. Well, I found that some people like wool applique, so I decided to cut these out. Here's the wool. I think there's 22 pieces of wool. And
Mhm.
here's the, I'll just pull them off of here. There's these
Yeah.
motifs. Okay, there's the tree. And here's the little hearth. So this way they can take their little, if this is 65-pound cardstock, they can take these motifs that come in the pattern on wax paper. This is what I use, just grocery store wax paper
Mhm.
if I don't want to fuse it. And then you can just take this and put it on your wax paper and trace it with a pencil. For those people who don't like to trace out of the book. Now, these patterns that you guys did are just wonderful. I
Mhm.
just love them. But this is just another choice. And this is the fusible I like to use. So if I was going to use this, I would just take my tree. And you have to pay attention when they get the pattern out of their magazine, they're going to have to pay attention where to trace it, which direction. But the pattern, if they get the pattern and then stand it up to your pattern, they won't be misled. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, just match the way it is on the page in the magazine.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then they can do it on fusible or they can do it on wax paper, and they have a choice of either one. Because
Okay.
all the pieces are right here. Um, here's the wool pieces.
Mhm.
Here's the background fabric. And if you order that pattern, it looks like this. It doesn't have the finished um, design on there because it's in the magazine. So
Okay.
this is what they'll get, is just the little paper motifs and the wool.
Okay.
And then if they want to buy the buttons, that's a separate
Mhm.
item. And just another button company has made, they used to put my designs in there so customers could go in and say, I want Aunt Susie's and this number. And
Mhm.
they've done that again. So you can use just another button company buttons, or dress it up, has a lot of cute buttons. I mean, people have, if they sell, they have cute Christmas buttons, don't they?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is what I used for the popcorn. It's just that little pom-pom chenille, and I trimmed off the excess very carefully, and then I tacked it onto my Christmas tree so it looked like popcorn popping on the tree.
Hold your design up again, the completed one. Hold it real close to the camera.
Is that too close? Is
No,
that better?
that is perfect. Okay, so I see the pom-poms and I see the little buttons in the stockings. Okay, cute.
Isn't that fun?
I love it. Yeah.
So my favorite stitch is blanket stitch. So
Mhm.
I blanket stitch everything I can just
Mhm.
because I love to do it.
Mhm.
And so I do a lot of blanket stitch, but your magazine has instructions how to make all the stitches. And the
Uh-huh.
blanket stitch is very common. Um, and this is a great design to use your scraps. So if you've been doing wool applique for a long time, you can just use your scraps. And
Mhm.
I hope my customers don't make it exactly like mine unless that's what they want. Because if they
Mhm.
pull a different kind of wool out of their stash and do it this way or that way, then it makes my design theirs
It
because,
does. Yeah.
because they've tweaked a little bit. And I
Mhm.
think that's really fun. People say, I want it just like yours. And I says, no, you don't. You want at least one thing different. So the customer will have to, if they want a frame like this doesn't come with a frame. The skis don't come with a frame,
Mhm.
or the snow shovel. But the craft stores, it's Christmas, they have all this stuff, and
I've seen those in craft stores.
yeah.
I've bought those types of things just to use as ornaments on my Christmas trees, the skis and the shovels.
Oh, they're cute, aren't they?
Yeah, just stick them in there.
Yeah. So that's what I did and why I did it, and it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It just reminds me of being a little kid at Christmas time. And I love that your stockings don't match each other. I think that's very realistic, at least from when we were kids. And it's just very old timey and old fashioned. And I like the cookie on the table too for Santa.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
We put when we were kids, we put cookies out for Santa every year,
And
and
he ate them
Santa ate them. Yeah,
every
and we
time.
could for years we didn't know how they got eaten. You know,
Okay, so if people would like to buy the kits or your patterns or learn more about you, what would your website be, or how can they find you?
this is my website right here. It's an Etsy shop, but
Uh-huh.
I had to I had to stop doing. I had a website for 12 years, but
Mhm.
when everybody moved over to PDF files, the way they do it wasn't compatible with me. So I went to Etsy so
Uh-huh.
people could just download from the website.
Okay. It's a
So
good
it's
place.
so it's
AuntSusie'sHouse.com.
yes, that's
All
it.
right.
And you don't have to look up Etsy. All you have to do is type this. The people who I have my domain name just connected with me with this address.
Okay. Good deal. All
And
right.
it's
Well, that was really, really enjoyable, Susan. I really appreciate your time. And I thank everybody else for taking the time to watch this video. And hope you all have a very happy holidays and a happy new year. Thanks.
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. See ya.
Bye.